right, welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Pretty good. Glad to be getting towards the end of the week.
About time. It's been a long week.
Yeah, it seems like it has been.
Had some spot storms today.
Yeah,
A little bit crazy, awfully muggy, as they say.
very muggy. Yeah.
Not a huge fan. I do want to start by just mentioning that apparently the Steelers signed TJ Watt. Breaking news.
Oh, nice. You knew it was going to
$1
happen,
more a year than the fellow in Cleveland, which is really what he wanted. And he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the league for a week or two. This always changes, but
I think Myles Garrett's probably going to ask to renegotiate next.
Or else he's going to want to go to a winner.
Yeah.
He already did that, and he got paid, which is great. He's an awesome player, but Watt's statistics are right there, and he's negotiating later, so you get paid. That's how it works. Minka was the highest paid corner safety until he wasn't. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Cincinnati now with their stud end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see. And they have a drafted defensive lineman too that's not in camp. He left. He's been working out with Texas A&M all off season, and looks like he could go back to school.
He can, yeah. He hasn't signed, so
so he's still free. But that was the big Pittsburgh news today. Anyway, you got Watt, and I saw that Vern did mention that Skeens pitched a perfect inning in the All-Star game. Second year in a row that he started an All-Star game, which is pretty impressive. His numbers are fantastic, and his team stinks. He's got, 4 wins?
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, he's so good, and they just never get any run support.
No. He got more run support in the All-Star game, too.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of guys that can actually hit.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. So, whole bunch of stuff going on today. Same old stuff, but different, I guess.
Flooding the zone.
Flooding the zone. Yeah. I mean, things are so heated with Epstein, and I'm pretty sure I just saw that even though they thought they secured the votes to have a roll call on releasing the Epstein information, I think an hour ago it failed somehow, even though they did have Republicans on board. They don't want this information to get out. I think MTG was part of the alliance to have this released. They want to know what you're hiding, but things are so bad that they started releasing Trump's health, which never happens. I mean, Superman has been so healthy for forever, and then today they came out and said that everybody's seen his swollen ankles. He always has that thing on the back of his hand, the bruising. Apparently he's got chronic venous insufficiency, which is basically the veins are having trouble sending blood back from his legs to his heart. It happens with damaged valves, and I'm guessing with all the drugs he's done, that's probably an issue, even though he doesn't drink.
Right. But I mean, he is overweight. He's pretty sedentary, except for his frequent golf outings, which he uses a cart. Poor diet, terrible diet, massively overweight. I mean, he could be classified as obese.
He is obese.
Yeah. And
so, it's pretty bad when they're actually willing to put out his health, even though this condition, doctors pointed out, takes years to get to where he's at. He's in like stage 5, and they've been telling us he's super healthy for how long?
Oh, I know. Yeah,
since his
first campaign. Yeah.
Dr. Jackson.
Dr. Jackson, the dope man. Yeah.
Dave, the dope man selling dope.
He's the guy you call, Dr. Feelgood.
Well, they're really having a tough time with the Epstein thing. That's really been an issue. Again, to the point where Trump's willing to put out his health, which is crazy. I think we all saw yesterday. He came out and whoa, who's that?
I don't even know that guy.
How much for that date?
Is that Melania?
Yes.
Before some of the work she's had done, I'm guessing.
Yeah. She was fine before. I don't know what happened. There's a couple of buddies.
Epstein just looks like a predator.
Yeah, he's a pretty terrible person. They both are. They came into the casino. A guy was telling the story on the news. They came into a casino around 1:30 in the morning, and the casino gentleman had to manager had to come over because they came in with women that were not old enough to be in the casino. So you can say you're not buddies. I do believe without AI and any Photoshop, that is his hand on his shoulder. I know people are like, oh, he's missing an arm. That's not even real. These two were buddies. He was very complimentary of them. We both have good taste in young women, et cetera, et cetera. I mean,
oh, Jeffrey likes to have a good time, enjoys the women a little on the younger side, almost as much as I do. He's a great guy.
I mean, shit, he came down that gold escalator and told that chick he'd be sleeping with her in another couple of years. And she was, what, 12?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be dating her in a few years. I mean, this guy is just, hopefully some of the shit's finally starting to catch up with him because, you know, this is what he ran his first campaign on. It's always been a big thing. You know, oh, the Dems, they're all up in the Epstein files. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We're going to find out the truth. We're going to get to nasty, nasty man.
The Democrats are pedophiles. I mean, you know, at the pizza place where they were doing all that pedophile stuff in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
that got somebody
you've got
shot.
to base that, huh?
That got somebody shot too because they believe that nonsense.
Oh yeah, I mean, he started this shit. Now he can't control it. I mean, the MAGA people are upset.
Go ahead.
Well, and I'm sure the QAnon people are not happy either because everything's a giant conspiracy theories and everybody's pedophile.
I haven't heard about those guys in a while.
Yeah.
So well, I sent you a video, and I think people should look for it. There's a new angle of the assassination since we're talking about phoniness.
I saw that. That was, oh my God,
amazing.
That's like a $3 Rolex. It's so fake.
You got guys in suits and a woman helper moving the photographer's moments after the shot so they could get the right shot from a good side. You can see the flag being lowered so that they got a perfect photo op. You can hear the people in the background, we love you, Trump, because they were very concerned at the time that something had actually happened. But thankfully, nothing happened. He was perfectly fine, and the whole thing was staged. But allegedly,
that poor fireman that got gunned down, and the dupe that took the shot.
Yeah, well, the dude that took the shot in the head. That was probably the most heinous part of that whole thing when I saw him on the top of the building dead, because it was kind of heartbreaking. No matter how off the beam that kid went, he was still a kid. He had, doing some of the background on him, I mean, he totally got into a weird place, kind of shut down. He was very close with his family, and now you don't hear from the family either. They're pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Where they went, nobody knows. But
paid off or threatened, who knows? But
paid off. Maybe they're in El Salvador.
It could be, or Alligator Alcatraz. Who the hell knows? I mean, and just the fact that there was no media pushback on this at all, at least mainstream media.
Yesterday, he just said that he couldn't believe Biden appointed Powell as the head of the Fed. He did that, and nobody said anything. Nobody said anything to him.
I know, there's no accountability. This is what you get in an oligarchy when you've got billionaires that run it. But you know, fortunately, if you do a little bit of homework and you don't have to look very hard, there are sources like The Intercept.
Sure.
You know,
Mother Jones,
National Review. There's a lot of
Hartman.
Tom Hartman is a great source. So I mean, there are people that are getting it out there. You're just not going to find it on the mainstream media because you know it's corporate media. It's run by billionaires, and they want you to know what they think you need to know.
It's entertainment, infotainment, I guess, would be the best thing.
Well, but here's the interesting thing, though, and we've talked about this. Like, you know, our local paper here in St. Louis, it's owned by a fairly conservative company. It's not as liberal as it used to be at one time. And yet, if you look at the editorial page, you will see them pushing back, calling things out, calling Trump out, and the letters to the editor. I would say 95% of the ones that I've seen. And you see it more than I do on a daily basis, but most of these people are calling out something.
Sure.
And it's people across the board. I mean, if you look at where they're from different parts of the city. Some of them
are from veterans, it could be for healthcare, it could be for education. I mean, you're right, it's across the board.
So, information is out there.
It is. You just have to want it. Just to finish on Trump, he did come out yesterday and blasted the MAGAs. He doesn't want their support. They're falling for the radical left hoax that he called them MAGA weaklings. And then he described the whole thing. He was like, it's pretty boring stuff. I mean, it's sordid, but it's boring. I'm sure the families of the victims and the victims themselves really find that to be boring as well.
Well, one young woman committed suicide. One that we know of.
Her dad doesn't think she killed herself, but okay. Her dad would also like the list to be put out there. Again, Trump blames the Dems, bad people, fake news.
Nasty people.
We did get an update on the videotape. 3 minutes are missing. So make up what you want of that. But, it's par for the course, shall we say.
Well, how long would it take for the guards to come in, subdue Epstein, take some sheets and make a noose and hang him? Probably about 3 minutes, you think?
Yeah. Or get him out of there. Somebody put up a post of a guy looked just like him with a little plastic surgery in Thailand. So who's to say? I don't know. I do want to point out that we saw on the tarmac a couple of days ago, Lutnick was out there with Trump because he can't really be by himself anymore because he just can't process questions. And he talks about the same stupid stuff nobody really wants to talk about because it's all old fake news, so to speak. But Lutnick, as we talked about, was a neighbor of Epstein. Epstein's estate's still getting money from the federal government, hundreds of millions of dollars, which is kind of insane for a dead guy.
Yeah, for what? Why are they sending that kind of money to a dead guy's estate? A dead convict, pedophile.
Falls under, I think, the IRS with some tax stuff. It still doesn't make any sense. But what I wanted to mention was that Lutnick, who was laughing all this off, especially when it came to the fake news part, he was there with the Interior Secretary, who's also a bit of a doofus, so to speak. But it turns out that Lutnick's sister, Edie, worked with Maxwell at Terra Meg, which was her company. She worked at the Trade Center, but on 9/11, she had some appointment canceled, so she slept in that day. Her brother did die. They had another sibling, but just a weird correlation that you have Lutnick as a neighbor, you have Lutnick's sister working with Maxwell. It's just so close that it seems strange to me.
It does seem a bit strange. A lot of unanswered questions.
There is. I mean, the list just goes on. And I just want to finish with this. But if it is a hoax, why did JP Morgan pay out $290 million to Epstein's victims and then another $75 million to the U.S. Virgin Islands? I mean, you're talking about $365 million for a hoax? It just doesn't work that way. Why do we have the State Department decimating the office that combats human trafficking? Why would we close that office up?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Why was Maureen Comey fired yesterday? I mean, all she did was prosecute Epstein and Maxwell. Gone.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions.
It was a memo.
And yet a local representative, Ann Wagner, is, sending out email newsletters, patting herself on the back for the great job she's done with, fighting human trafficking. Like, really? You had a chance to maybe put this out there, and you didn't, Ann, as usual.
She's the worst, and we really can't stand her. Today, the Democrats are on the floor pointing out that this is just one account. There were 4,725 wire transfers, more than $1 billion through Epstein's account.
Wow.
They place it as a Department of Justice cover-up. Nobody's really talking about one account, $1 billion, 4,725 wire transfers. I just want to follow the smoke is all I'm saying, because with this administration, everything's for sale, right? I mean,
yeah, everything's transactional.
And we're going to jump to immigration because that's the next grift.
Yeah. Well, one last thing before we make that jump there. I was watching a podcast recently and it was pretty interesting. And, this may be going down the rabbit hole a bit. I don't know, because at this point, who knows? But it's the Diary of a CEO podcast, which is really pretty good. It's really well done. But there was a physicist on there, and his name escapes me. Pretty well-known guy. I think he's a Harvard physicist. And basically just saying that Jeffrey Epstein was not a finance guy. Jeffrey Epstein was a plant. Not sure who, probably through
It was Bill Barr's dad that got him into education first, and then got him into the circles of grifting cash.
Yeah. Well, but this guy who's boss at Harvard in the mathematics department said, yeah, Jeff Epstein's a guy you need to meet, leading financier. Well, this physicist on this podcast was saying he knew nothing about finance. His lack of knowledge about currency was alarming. This guy was he's definitely a plant. So it's just interesting. There's a lot of shit out there.
Well, once you start blackmailing people, they give you money, and then you can put their money into T-bills, anything you want. You don't have to know shit about money. You already got it. And they're not going to push back because you've got them by the cojones.
Yeah. Or, maybe it's not even about money. Maybe it's just about keeping quiet about something, about someone.
I think he liked the money too. He was very extravagant, and you're not flying around in the little Lolito Express unless you're on a campaign trail, Trump, or you're taking young ladies to the islands.
Yeah, or who knows what was going on in the back rooms at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, well, and that's where a lot of the recruiting came, obviously. So that's going to be interesting, and it's not going away. I wanted to put these guys up here because this is another front that we're really fighting off.
Oh, these assholes.
These are Blackwater folk. You may remember Eric Prince during the Iraq War. His sister's Betsy DeVos. She was the education secretary that was almost as ill-qualified as Linda McMahon.
Well, at least she didn't try to shut it all down.
No, this is true. Blackwater has a $25 million bid in to do mass deportation of immigrants by midterms 2026.
Yeah, this should horrify anybody and everybody, because these guys are nothing but thugs.
Oh, well,
this guy's a thug.
Yeah, that's Tommy Homan. Good old Tommy. I got to remove his. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. So
yeah, tough to look at.
Move on from that guy. That was not pretty. I did want to touch upon with, here's a bid, $25 million. We'll scoop up everybody any way possible. That's a bit terrifying, but it goes a little bit deeper with the private prisons. Again, it's on the money-making front, but Homan and Pam Bondi were both lobbyists for the GEO group, which is private prisons. And when they reached out to them and said, what Trump could possibly bring, the GEO group thought it would be maybe $400 million a year that they could make off this type of transaction. So of course, you give $1 million to the MAGA PAC. Next thing you know, Trump wins with their support as well. Homan and Bondi both get appointed to this administration, and all of a sudden, we're in business, right? I mean, here we are. The interesting, and let me just put up, where's Ronnie? Because it continues. We got Alligator Alcatraz with this guy. Well, this guy from the GEO group has been taking money since 2016 for private prisons. Surprise. So the interesting part with DeSantis is that all of the companies, and it's all publicly documented who was helping build this Alligator Alcatraz, which sucks. People are hating it that are there. People that shouldn't be there are there.
Yeah, it's not fit to hold humans, and the way they're being kept in cages and the conditions.
The air conditioning is turned off 5 hours a day. They're fortunate to have it. Did remind me a little bit of another famous concentration camp where it was built poorly and people were freezing out there. They'd have one little wood stove for 50 some people. You had 3 to a cot, and it wasn't even a cot. It was like hay on bales or hay on the bed. So not a thing. But my point is they don't really care. This is cruel and unusual. But what I was going to say is the building of Alligator Alcatraz cost $200 million. Several companies of public record were doing the building. Well, lo and behold, the public records are no more. Disappeared. No names. And we talked about this. They covered all the serial numbers on the trucks, so you couldn't ID them. And now DeSantis has taken it off out of public record, which to me is amazing. How can
Seems like it should be highly illegal.
It would be if there was accountability, and we're kind of
look at this guy, Nosferatu.
We're kind of led by this guy, and I had another picture of him because they just recently released with this guy this little video. This is him on the back of a bus telling some great stories, but his quote was that he called torture, it's a celebration of human life and dignity. This was 2003, the Iraq War. He was talking about torturing people. He's 21 years of age here. And I really think if you kind of support that mentality, Pat Tillman gave up an incredible career in football to serve. Why didn't this clown sign up if it's such a funny joke torturing people and how cool it is?
Just another fake tough guy. And there's something wrong with this kid. I mean, grew up upper middle class in, where was it? In Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Went to, an outstanding high school. And as a high school student, he got up running for, I guess, I don't know if it was student president, whatever, but he gets up and he starts saying, you know what, we should be allowed to throw our trash on the floor. That's why we have these immigrants here picking up after us. Am I right, everybody? I mean, this guy's just a hateful, sick person, always has been, born with everything, silver spoon in his mouth. And he's Jewish. He's got Holocaust survivors in his family tree, and they've all disowned him. He's just a disgusting and disturbed person.
Well, and speaking of which, I'm going to pop this up.
Speaking of which.
The lady of the hour. Today, she is touring Alcatraz, the Alcatraz. She has the Interior Secretary with her. They're going to talk about reopening Alcatraz. I mean, again, it's all about the acoustics, the rock, Law and Order. They probably won't even do it. That's not to say that right now with tours, they make $60 million a year for the state.
People love that tour. Every time I've been out there, I haven't been able to get it booked. It's a tough ticket to get.
It is. So it would cost $250 million to update it to be able to house people there. So maybe we spend the money, maybe we do that, and then maybe it goes away anyway, right? I mean, that's just how this whole regime works.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the $60 million a year and having happy tourists. I don't think we need to put $250 million into a facility that's just not close to being prepared for what they're trying to do.
It's just ridiculous. And my guess now is that this is just, they're throwing anything and everything out there to try and direct attention away from the Epstein files.
Well, you're going to see Pam because she was out there in her Coast Guard gear looking like $1 million. Just saying.
Well, she looks like she's got the Ozempic face. That thing is just caving in.
Everybody's on it, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It makes no sense, but you're right. They're just going to keep putting stuff out there until we are either extremely distracted or we're just, fucked, so to speak.
Well, yeah, it certainly does feel that way some days. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see if, which direction MAGA goes in, if they let it all die down and fall in line with Dear Leader. But it doesn't seem to be happening, at least not at this point. So hopefully it won't.
Because they're not super trusting people either, for the most part. That's why they are who they are, and that's how they want it. And, here we are. So what do? We start putting people in place that are going to do what we want.
Look at this guy.
Emil Bovey again. The Senate Judiciary Committee did approve him today. So that'll go forward with his nomination. They call him the Hatchet Man. And he'll end up with a lifetime judgeship at one of the prestigious appeals courts, which nobody wants that. You don't want this in your justice system. It's just horrible.
This guy is just there to hand stamp whatever Trump wants. It's a kangaroo court. He's like Roland Freiser, the guy that ran Hitler's kangaroo court. They called it the People's Court.
We had pictures of that. That was awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? That guy died during a bombing raid, crushed under a filing cabinet, and he deserved it. Real piece of shit. And this guy is right off the same tree.
And the tie-in with the defunding. So this passed at 2:30 in the morning. The other night, the defunding of it was $9 billion. But the part that's upsetting people is the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, PBS, NPR, and then foreign aid. So if you break it down, it's a $9 billion cut. 1.1 billion of that is for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. $8 billion of that is for foreign assistance. So here we go again. We spent $130,000 to incinerate $800,000 worth of food that could have been given to really anybody. But we hate on people. So this $9 billion that we're cutting, $8 billion again for foreign aid. Meanwhile, we're giving $74 billion to ICE because those guys are going to get bonuses. Some of them are going to be in the tens of thousands of dollars as a bonus because they really deserve it. And what I really wanted to say is about the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, their budget will be zeroed out for the first time since 1967. TV in 1967 was black and white. So this is a while ago. I know it's right around your birth year, but my point is,
yeah,
a long time ago. And there's a famous clip, which we've all seen, of Fred Rogers going up to Capitol Hill. And he really put it out there like only Mr. Rogers could. And he was able to sway both sides of the aisle to fund it, the importance of it. I mean, let's not forget, he was the first guy that was washing his feet. Yeah, it seems a little strange. In a little wading pool with the mailman who was black.
The policeman, Officer Clemens.
Was he a cop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Mr. McFeely or whatever was the mailman. Yeah, you're right. He was a cop. But the point is that Fred didn't care, man. Black, white, or other, didn't matter. Sexual orientation, who cares? And he was a good man, and he got the support of Congress. And now I feel like, who's going to go up there now and speak on behalf of PBS?
Well, and you could send a dozen Fred Rogers up there now, and it wouldn't make any difference because at least at that time you had reasonable people, you had serious people. Now you just have sycophants and cheerleaders and people that will fall in line and do whatever, and that's pathetic. That's a shame. And you know, one of the things that Mr. Rogers said was, when things go wrong, look for the helpers. And so that's where we are now. We need to look for the helpers and stand together because we are in the shit, as they say, with these people.
Well, once you take away public access and public television, you're left with state television only.
Yeah.
Part of what public broadcasting does is, you'll get your public emergency warnings and stuff. You won't have that. And since we're cutting any of the, weather service anyway, where are you going to get your information?
Well, we don't need that. Climate change is a fake. We're going to get rid of all those records and,
Oh, geez.
All is well.
You are just one step ahead, my friend. Yes, we're cutting all of that. You don't need to know about climate change because...
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It really doesn't concern you. Actually, it does. So to that point, I don't know. It's upsetting to me.
It's extremely upsetting.
And it all like kind of ties in. Like we're having this crazy weather. We had storms at my house. The 30 minutes I was gone, I came back. There was puddles of water everywhere. Like it was a torrential downpour. And then I come home and I'm walking dogs. It's sunny out. And then it starts pouring on me. Even though it's sunny, I see blue sky. And I don't know what the heck's going on.
Yeah, that happened on Tuesday as well. Pouring down rain with the sun brightly shining. It's just really weird.
It's just really strange. And there's something going on, but we just don't want to really talk about it. It just seems stupid to me. Why?
Again, man, your house could be on fire, but we're just not going to talk about it. We're going to shut off that stupid smoke alarm, pretend it never existed, and go about our business until the house burns down around us.
Then when we come back to ashes, we'll wonder why. Climate change.
Maybe you're in the house and you burn up with it, but you die with your red hat on.
That's right. Oh, that thing will flame up like nobody's business.
Yeah.
They fired 400 critical climate risk scientists on June 30th of this year. All past reports vanished from the Fed website, and the federal website went away. So they're erasing any kind of evidence of climate change, which seems really stupid. Iceland and Scandinavia are having record-breaking heat waves, 8 to 10 degrees Celsius over their long-term averages, which is pretty extreme. Today, in Iran, along the Persian Gulf, 149 degrees with humidity, I might add.
people can't live in that. You can't.
And what's it called? Limits of human survivability.
Mm-hmm.
You can't cool off.
No, you literally
can't like a dog all you want.
physically cannot. Yeah, you can't.
So we're really pushing that. And as all this is going on and we're hiding the information or burying it, that great, beautiful bill that he put out has a 17% increase in military spending, which will add emission equivalent to an entire country. The example here was Croatia. So this wonderful bill is only going to add to the speeding up of climate change. All because why? Because we don't care, or there's money in it. I just don't know.
Yeah, I really wonder. And I'm sure there's a lot of really twisted evangelicals that are praying for this because we've got to get to the end times when Jesus comes back and the rapture.
What were you? Were you at the were you at the Pentagon monthly Christian prayer service? How'd you know that?
What the fuck is that?
It was cringeworthy. I had to watch that. There were children in the room. Hegseth was Roman this and Roman that. It was just like there were no Muslim soldiers there. I didn't see any Jewish soldiers there. It was just
probably
white Christian soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit
warriors, crazy. Christian warriors.
That's right, because it's a warrior mentality. And the last thing I'll say about ICE and this is that they've now gained access to personally identify info for all Medicaid enrollees. Now, I think we know where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Big balls.
Doge took all your information. Now they're giving it to ICE. I mean, with that, I'm going to jump to the next thing because I just can't even wait to upset you with more. I'm kidding. I don't want to upset you, Billy.
Too late.
This is a fine airline. Good old Delta.
Delta.
Yes, old Delta. They are moving away from set fares towards a personalized price plan using AI. By the end of the year, they would like to have 20% of their ticketing billing through AI. I didn't even know, but right now it's at 3%.
Oh, wow.
And basically what they do is they base the flights on time and destination, sure, like when you want to go, so 2 weeks out, etc. But more importantly, it's about making the price to tie into your algorithms, right? So they see the price that the algorithm thinks that you'll accept as the rate that you're going to get. Your rate may be different than mine based on what your algorithm is.
So why does that remind me of that scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Steve Martin is trying desperately to get the cab from the guy that has it, offers him $25, and the guy's like, anyone who would pay $25 for a cab will surely pay $50.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think someone at Delta was maybe watching that.
Well, all the airlines are going to follow suit. So you have no more fare pricing. It's going to be based on the algorithm. I think the CEO made a joke that AI will find your pain point, which sounds like an awful thing to say. But while we're doing that, we're going to reduce cabin space so that we can boost more premier level seating. In fact, they're coming out with a flat Delta One suite where you can lay flat in your own little area. I'm sure it's not cheap, but also bumping up the premium economy and the premium select. So, you better be dressed nicely if you want to get up there in first class.
Oh, dude, everything is just a racket now. They're just squeezing us. Everything is designed just to squeeze every penny out of us.
And we saw that flight leaving, was it LA yesterday? I'm pretty sure. The engine was just shooting flames out the side. I mean, this is 7 months. I've never seen so many aviation issues in such a short time period. I mean, They heard a big thunk. People were freaking out. They saw the flames shooting out. They were able to turn around and land, but people were like crying. People were all holding hands. Like, we've been in that situation before, and we've talked about it in the past. It is a little bit terrifying. I mean, you have no control. And these people kind of bonded together, which was great because it's that kind of situation. But why is it happening so frequently? It's just crazy.
Yeah, because there's a former champion lumberjack in charge of transportation.
He did road rules too. Okay,
Yeah,
real,
road rules, real
real pro.
MTV tough guy, and now he's running NASA too. So,
Well,
uh,
um, that you would think in a democracy that at midterms maybe you get a chance to vote, but the feds are going into every state and they're asking to inspect the voter machines. That's going to come down to the state you're in. I'm sure in South Carolina they're going to say, "Come on in, boys."
mhm.
Colorado said, "No, not on my watch. This is for safety reasons. No, you can't look at it." They do have all the voter rolls, so they're breaking down the voter rolls as we speak to get your voter data. Which, in any campaign, it's public knowledge. It's not like it's some cryptic thing that they're doing, but they're planning. That's the part I'm talking about. The planning of the steal, right?
Yeah. So I hope the Democrats are busy planning too, and trying to figure out what they can do to save the save the vote. Because again, you're never going to convince me that the 2024 election, and it's in court right now
It
in New
is. It's
York.
moving forward.
But yeah, that shit was not on the level.
Well, and maybe after this experience of 7, 8, 9, 10 months, people will be willing to do a little bit more than just be outraged and not do anything about it. Um, to your point on the business front, it's just kind of gross. I saw J.P. Morgan Chase is now workers have to give them 6 months notice before quitting. Used to be 2 weeks in my day.
What are they going to do? Fire you?
Make you stay. I don't know. Garnish your next job. I mean, where are you going from J.P. Morgan Chase? You're probably going to go into another financial company, and you don't think they're all buddies.
Hmm.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. They also said that 1 in 5 job postings are ghost jobs.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I
So
believe
no
that.
real hiring intent. Uh, they
Hmm.
said 22%. People thought it was closer to like 40% of what's being put out there. And then 1 in 3 employers admit that they keep these polls open for 30 plus days just to keep it going. Now, keep in mind, they fired my coworker here. I'm in the 45th day of me doing his job, right? But all that money that we're saving for the shareholders and stuff probably feels pretty good to the higher ups. Meanwhile, I'm losing my mind.
Hmm.
Did I get paid more? No, no, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't.
Nope. Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. It's a corporate state. And when you have nationalism combined with corporatism, it's called fascism.
You're right. And then we have talked about JD and his company that's buying up these family farms, and we've already talked about the bankruptcy of the family farms, which is the highest level it's been
Hmm.
so far this year. We have more than we even had all of last year, and we're about halfway through the year. Um, To that point, the USDA is dropping rules requiring farmers to record use of some of the most toxic pesticides. That sounds to me like big agriculture, right? Which makes sense. And then you're like, well, wow, that's weird. Why would they pass such a thing? But then you put it together with the fact that mom and pop farms, these family farms, are going away and being bought up. So let's take the restrictions off first. Then when we suck up their land, what's stopping us from doing whatever the heck we want?
Hmm. Oh yeah, we'll spray whatever the fuck we want to on there.
It's just horrible. The USDA also cut. They're no longer for the national network of centers that supports thousands of small and mid-sized farms and food businesses. They're no longer going to support that. There'll be no funds coming in for them, which again makes a hardship for small farms, small food businesses, whether it's processing foods or not. We already know that don't eat lunch meat.
Hmm.
But my point being, you're setting this all up for the massive grift of taking all this land, and now you control the food supply as well
Yeah, I
and
mean,
know
this
what
is
not to eat.
it's beyond concerning. This is horrifying.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to go for horrifying. I was jumping more to educational. I
Well,
will
yeah,
jump to
but I mean,
horrifying.
anytime you're talking about the food supply being controlled and food security, not to mention the fact that we're in real trouble with the honeybees.
Yeah, which do all the work.
Yeah, well, apparently there's a parasite that's killing a lot of them.
Okay.
So beekeepers, people that do it commercially, they have giant hives, right? They're reporting, year over year, their losses are going up, up, and up every year. They're losing bees. And when the bees are gone, there's no more
Nobody's
pollination.
pollinating your food. You're fucked.
Yeah. You better get used to eating canned beans.
Just to step back a second to the whole business end of it. This is the NIL. We thought it was a great thing that college athletes were getting paid. Mm-hmm. These major universities make a ton of money. Let's just say college football, for instance. The powers that be don't really care for this. So Trump's working on actively doing an executive order regarding NIL. So what they want to do is limit the money that players can make. And then we talked about this earlier. Do we limit what CEOs make?
Yeah.
1,000 times their workers, or what the coach makes? These coaches get some big money. That guy at Clemson, he was a real bargain at $5 million.
Yeah. It's ludicrous. It's so hypocritical. And I mean, you look at these kids and they're kids. They're playing a dangerous game. And how many of these guys do you remember from our days in Atlanta that you would see that came in? Maybe they were late round picks. Maybe they were free agents, the kind that don't make any money and get a signing bonus. And you look at these guys and you wonder, like, what is he going to do, man, when he gets cut? Because it's not like, they're not true student athletes. The workload on these kids, it's football first. They're spending 20 to 40 hours a week on football.
Yeah.
Right? Meetings, practices, training sessions. I mean, it's like a full-time gig for these kids. So yeah, the education and something that's going to serve you should football not work out. And the odds are very slim, even if you go to a major college.
Sure.
So they should get paid. I mean, the universities make money off their likenesses, their jersey sales. So
nobody was against it. Everybody was for it, except for the orange guy has a problem with, I assume, black athletes naming their price and getting paid. Mm-hmm. I think he has a real issue with that. The thing I found tying into that was that yesterday I saw where they talked about Saban maybe wanting to come back. And we all know that Nick Saban left Alabama because once the NIL came out and people could pay money, his little booster program couldn't raise enough money to keep Alabama relevant, which roll tide roll. It is what it is. But now, with his friend, maybe, setting out an executive order to change that, he can get back in the game.
Unbelievable. Just you know what? Take a seat, Nick. You're done.
Do more commercials.
Do more commercials, yeah.
Give some inspirational speeches, and let these kids make their money, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, and the thing about the NIL agreement now is it's going to be spread around to all the college athletes, whatever their sport.
And just to compare it to like public broadcasting, they give this money to public broadcasting, and that goes to mainly rural stations and locations. Because if you're in New York or Boston or Pittsburgh, they do fundraisers. They have people that donate quite a bit. They have endowments and such that give to them. They're trying to take care of middle America. Yeah. And you're stuffing them in a box saying, forget it. They don't need broadband. They don't need hospitals. They don't need work. But we'll find work for you because the fields are slowing down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's upsetting.
It's very upsetting.
And before I get to a happier ending, I do want to add that flesh-eating bacteria killed 4 in Florida. I'll butcher this, but it's Vibrio vulnificus. There's 11 cases in the state of Florida. The advice was that if you have an open wound, stay out of the water.
We're better off just stay out of the water. Maybe put your feet in.
It's fast, severe, and infectious. Well, if you have a toe issue, keep it out of the water.
Well, but I mean, what if you don't have any open wounds, but you go in and you accidentally ingest some water? It maybe gets in your ear.
They're not brain-eating amoebas, but listen, we went and spent way too much time in the water several years ago, and you got a terrible rash. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I hope to never go back to Florida again. It's a fucking hellhole.
That's awesome. I will mention too. Let me see where he is. It's the 11 year anniversary of this, which you thought couldn't get any worse, and then it does. This is Eric Garner. He was selling cigarettes in New York City. He was killed by NYPD. His last quote was, "I can't breathe." And we really haven't changed policy. The chokehold seems to still be around. Now we just have a bunch of cosplay people jumping out of cars, claiming to be whatever. And if you are concerned that it's not ICE that's pulling you over, call a real police officer. They'll come out. Those guys scamper like rodents when the actual police come out.
Seriously, call 911. If they don't crash into you and force you off the road, drive to a police station if you can.
And I don't think that they would crash you because
they've done it.
Nobody's paying their car bill is all I'm saying. Yeah, those guys were feds though, that T-boned that chick. These guys are just clowns. One was like a middle-aged man. He tried to pull over these young girls. They pulled over and then they noticed his light colors weren't police colors. So they took off, called 911. And that guy, they have a video of him pulling up next to him, like screaming at them to pull over. Pretty nefarious. We've already seen this in robberies. We've seen this in sexual assaults. You need to present. You need to take that silly mask off, be a man about it, and tell me who you are. You got a badge number? Tell me who you are. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, this regime, it's like the Nazi regime. It's empowered so many fucking haters and creeps and just general losers and psychopaths.
They play it off like it's normal. Tommy Tuberville was asked, a lot of times you're scooping up these undocumenteds and you're taking citizens with them. And he's like, well, stay away from them. Don't be hanging out with the undocuments. And I'm using my choice of words, but he was using different words to describe people.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then you talk about Medicaid, where they want to put the 34 million people in Medicaid onto farms to do the picking because, mom and her dementia, I'm sure she can be consistent at doing something. And it just dawned on me that when you start talking about avoiding the undocumented, that your workforce, when they say 100% American plus automation, means white people. I'm not interested in living in a strictly white country. I find that a little bizarre. And
maybe if it's Sweden.
And un-American. Yeah, move to Sweden, go to Finland. And they have great healthcare. I'm not saying that, but this is America. It's
the happiest countries in the world.
Melting pot. I was raised around all colors. I don't want to be the only, color around. It just doesn't bring creativity or cohesion or kindness or advancement. We don't progress. No. We just sit in the old times, like putting old Southern statues back up and paying tribute to the bases. We're going to call them all whatever. Well, come on, Hegseth, do better, please.
No, okay, Hegseth. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, I remember how freaked out I was when I moved here to St. Louis from California. California, very diverse. I mean, people of all shades, all stripes. And then you come here, and I remember being in a deli or a restaurant and looking around. Everybody was white, and I was like, "This is so weird."
And it was,
and I'd lived in Atlanta before that, also a very multicultural city.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was a bit of a shocker, a bit of an eye opener, and just seeing how segregated the city is laid out to be.
It's a lot, and I don't really. I like variety is the spice of life, is what they say.
It is.
Many people said that.
Many people.
So anyway, I'm going to keep that on the radar because that's extremely concerning to me. In that jest of getting my mental health back, I'm going to go to my happy ending.
All right.
My happy ending today has to do with my brain.
Woo.
The happy news is that there's several surveys out there where people are doing testing on your cognitive smarts, etc. There were about 700,000. I'm sorry?
You lose brain.
Exactly, Homer. 700,000 adults. So out of these 700,000 people that took this survey, they took 1,000 of the exceptional brains that responded. And to be exceptional, you had to be like 30 years below what your age was, how your brain's working. Sadly, you hit 40, your brain starts to lose a step or two. Reaction times, your memory recall. It happens. I mean, imagine being 79 and being asked to run a country. I mean, you just couldn't do it. Yeah.
Especially when you weren't that bright to begin with.
Exactly. His uncle taught the Unabomber. You just throw statistics out there that don't even make sense. His Unabomber wasn't a thing. Didn't happen. The MIT guy wasn't there. No correlation. But we'll talk about that another time because it's ridiculous. Anyway, the good news about what they're finding with the brain is that you can kind of, through many facets, kind of keep your brain working or working at a higher level than what your age is, which to me, as an oldie, I thought that was a pretty happy ending for me and yourself. But they talked about the results, sleep and maintaining cardiovascular health, also avoid smoking, which seems like a no-brainer, limited alcohol, which I appreciated. Nobody's necessarily a teetotaler, and plenty of exercise keeps that brain going. We talked about in the last one with gaming, again, mental stimulation, whether it was, through group play where you're socializing, which is also important. But the key is to get better sleep. It's really hard with the schedules that we're all on. I want to say I got 4.5 hours of sleep last night. My choice. I'm not complaining. But you play hockey, you're kind of amped up. You want to have a couple suds with the boys, whatever. It happens. So, I need to work on this too. But a big part of it is consistency. A regular bedtime schedule, which I know it sounds like a baby, but the point is that you need to align your rhythms with the rhythms of the sun, along with physical activity and socializing, etc. But it's called sleep pressure, which is your body's natural desire to want to sleep. So if you can get your body on a schedule, you'll get good sleep. All of us have had shitty sleep, and it doesn't really clear the plaques. And I'm not going to go into dementia and the clearing of the plaques, but it's about full sleep cycles. I have some friends that monitor their sleep daily, and they find for some people avoiding alcohol really helps them get better deep sleep. With other people, and it could be like a temperature change. Like they might say, hey, if you're hot at night, take a cold shower. You'll get a better night's sleep. If it's winter and you're cold, take a hot shower. Like you got to find what works for you. But to me, that there's even hope that you can find what works for you. And we are seeing that the brain's pretty resilient even as you age, if you take care of it. The guy at the top of the food chain here doesn't seem to take care of anything. So,
oh God, no, that brain is turning to oatmeal by the minute.
And we've always been told 8 hours of sleep, which is great. That's an old sleep study, fantastic. The only people tested in that study were men. So it turns out that women actually need 10 hours of sleep. But again, who's getting that in a 24-hour cycle? It seems like it would be a miracle.
Yeah, it's really hard. And, if you think you can, kind of be a sleep camel, right, and catch up on the weekends, you can't.
It's definitely a process. I mean, if you need to catch up on 3 hours of sleep, it's going to take weeks to kind of catch up.
Yeah, well, and some of it is cultural too. I mean, we're of the work. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm going to work. I'm going to grind, and it just, your body is only built to take so much.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with having reasonable time for rest. I mean, you look at some cultures that they take an afternoon siesta.
Love that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
For sure.
Our priorities are just so far out of whack. Work. Stay up late, get up early, get on the grind, man. That's what it's all about. In the gym at 4:30, working out till 6. Then I run 10 miles. Then I hit the office, and it's like, yeah, no, get the fuck out of here.
Doesn't seem super sustainable either. Clearly, genetics is part of this equation. But the fact that if you care and you want to stay sharp, there are ways to do it. You have to find your way. I mean, some of the stuff's obvious. It's not personalized that I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes and I'm wondering why my fucking health isn't great.
Yeah.
It's called common sense. I know Orange Guy uses that word a lot, but find what works for you. But the fact that you can stay sharp, and yes, your body's going to break down with age. It's a thing. But keep it active, keep it in motion. Strength training is very important, just because you don't want to lose muscle mass. Next thing you know, you fall down. You break a hip and you're old, you got a 50-50 chance of dying. So,
well, and strength training is good for your bone density too.
Yes, absolutely. And women in particular really need that.
Well, especially as they age and enter the pre and postmenopausal periods, that's extremely important. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And one of the things that I have seen is you want to limit your screen time before bed too.
Yeah,
you don't want to be laying in bed, read a book, but yeah, you do not want to be doing that.
Yeah, it just sparks your mind. I just remember when kids were young, it was like, the gaming and stuff at night or their phone. And then you're kind of jacked up and wired. I mean, babies, they put you, I mean, that's why I said it's not like we're babies here, but you get a routine. You bathe the kid at night, they know they're going to bed. It's kind of,
and yeah, you know what? And their brains are, very neuroplastic, so they can, accept new information and build new circuits. So yeah.
Yeah,
maybe the babies are onto something before our
sure, they're pooping in their pants and they can't really talk, but they're sleeping better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if you have a happy ending, but anytime I can see that I'm not falling to pieces, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good one.
All right. Yourself, anything good today?
Well, I don't know.
TJ Watt was signed. You'll be happy.
There you go. That's good news. And the fact that Trump is in stage 5 of his illness, that's not upset to hear that at all.
No, well, at least they're telling some truth for a change, though that's probably selective truth. And the next guy in line would be even more terrifying. So
he'd be terrifying, but that guy's universally unpopular.
Yeah. Well, let's just get the list out. Let's keep pounding on that. I know the Democrats aren't going to stop, and I don't know what the Republicans have to hide other than that guy.
I'm guessing there's more than a few of them on that list, and I'm sure there's some Democrats on there too.
Absolutely.
No, but
my God, men of power on both sides of the aisle. I don't care, but if you're a pedophile, it should be known, and you should go away.
It should, yeah. Bring it out.
Yeah. So
shine some light on it.
I'm all about it. But all right. Well, I appreciate again your time today, and I think we'll go with that as the happy ending.
All right, that'll work.
All right. Well, maybe I'll catch you Saturday, but I'll catch up to you later. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Good job, buddy.
You too.
See ya.
See ya.